Okay, I'm doing some quarter panel patching on a 71 to 73 Mustang. Keep it in mind that I am not a professional and I do not know what I'm doing, but so far I've gotten okay results on the other side. These are both Goodmark brand patch panels. By no means are they perfect, but they're alright. So I'll show you what I had to do. The one on the left is as it comes from Goodmark, and then the one on the right is the one that I've kind of had to fool with. And so the first thing about them is that the edges are pretty dull from Canada. And so I had to sharpen it up a little bit on this one. And I even need to sharpen up this corner a little bit more to make it match factory stuff. And then of course down here was all completely wonky, but I mean you're just going to push that in and it's going to get spot welded to the back of the car. But kind of the big thing, I don't know if you can really see it, is if you sight down this one, you can see that it's all one plane. And then if you sight down this one, I don't know if you can really see it, but so we're looking at the bottom down here, and we're in the plane, and you can't really tell, but the top, you kind of tell, it goes to the right. So anyway, that is an untouched Spectra panel. But the thing is, on the car, the trunk drop is one plane, it's straight, and you just end up with this massive gap, and so you have to do some panel beating and get that over. So first things first, it's got a new trunk drop tacked in, and these are actually pretty decent. They don't come with the square hole for the little drain cover. You have to put that in yourself. And then this is just a patch I'm starting to do for the outer wheelhouse drop. Now, the height of this is really critical to how these guys are going to fit. So don't go crazy with this until you're totally satisfied with the fit of the quarter panel patch. And then so anyway, I cut this edge low. On the quarter panel patch, I also cut off the top lip. I don't know if you can see that. That has a lip in it. I just wasn't really happy with the lip. I didn't want it to be seen in the back of the car. And the other thing is, the lip isn't uniform. So it's probably off by like 40 thou from one end to the other in different places, if that makes much sense as far as the offset. So I don't know, I cut it off. So anyway, to the back of the car, you just I need to do some more cleaning before this actually goes on for real. But the first thing I did before I cut apart the car was put a Sharpie on here, and I measured from, well, I put the Sharpie on there to make it so that it was 2 inches from this edge to here. So I had some sort of a monument to put the panel back on the car. Or you can measure from up here with a cloth tape down. So after much messing with the quarter panel patch, I'm pretty happy with how it's fitting. And I'm ready to start sawing the car a little bit. So the first thing I did was scribed it back here and then cut this. And then what I'm going to do up front is, once I'm happy with that, I'll scribe it and cut it up front. And then I will clamp the daylights out of it and take a body saw and run a body saw along the top of this edge so that I have a 1 saw width kerf. And I'll start using these goofy clamps, a whole bunch of other clamps, and then start tack welding this thing and easing it together, and hopefully it turns out just as good as the other side did. Checking with the profile gauge and everything else. So here's the other side, which turned out pretty good. I mean, by no means am I a professional panel beater, but I mean, somebody who does know what they're doing could probably smooth that out a little bit more than it is. But it looks really good, the profile gauge. I know with a little plastic it'll be fine. So anyway, this is finished result looks like. Just gonna taxel on the bottom or spot welds. So really this one just needs to be, do a little more metal finishing and call it good to go. Okay, we're getting closer to fitting the panel. So that's what it looks like on the back. I mean, it still needs a little work. The panel itself, I need to work on it some more because there should only be about 1/8 of an inch of curvature in this from here to here, maybe just a skosh more. I've profile gauged a couple different cars just to make sure, and that's what they both look like. So anyway, up front it's a pretty big gap. I mean, just to give you an idea, it's pretty big. But honestly, when I get this belly out of it, the panel is probably going to move forward, and you know, they're not shooting for anything perfect, but I have it good enough where I can get the body saw in here and cut along the top of this, and I'll hold it to it and cut along the panel here. Okay, I used the body saw and made the cut, which you can see, and then I still got to work on a little bit here. It's not quite perfect, but it's close enough. But it'll be fine with just the clamps. Got that bubble out of it back here. And yeah, so far so good. Okay, the quarter panel is just starting to tack it in. So see, you got about a saw blade width curve there, and it's kind of hard to tell, but let's see if we can focus. Focus here. A wire feed welder, gas shielded, with 24,000 solid wire. A stool and lights. You can't weld what you can't see. A die grinder, and then I have a 3M roll-lock style system for it that takes these, you know, different Scotch-Brites and sanding discs and stuff. Angle grinder with cut-off wheel and with a backing pad for use with fiber discs. These are 3M Cubitron 2s. They cut great. Trev's blog turned me onto those. Body saw. The blades that come with these are garbage. They use the Baco brand blades, and they're better, but they're not perfect. Dolly, hammer, blowgun to clean and keep your welds cool. Or you can use a wet rag. C-clamps. And then you're going to need some of these little body clamps like this. You can get them from Eastwood or eBay or whatever. Flush cutters, because you need to cut the ball off that wire every single time, especially when you're using a little teeny wire feed like the one I've got. It just doesn't have enough open circuit voltage to do anything else. And then you're going to need PPE. I would drape the leathers over me when I was sitting on the stool. You're going to need gloves. You're going to need safety glasses. You're going to need hearing protection. I highly suggest sleeves. These are super handy. It's much better than wearing the jacket, and it was good enough for me. A balaclava for when you're out of position and you don't want to get your head burned. I also wore a hat most of the time. These are nice to haves. This is a Sealy 3/8 inch belt sander. It gets in all sorts of evil places. And then a snap-on crud thug for removing undercoating and rust. Pretty cool tool. It's actually not made by Snap-on. I forget who makes it. Anyway,